Today, let's talk about toxic positivity. Is that really a thing? Or is that negative people calling it toxic positivity? Let's find out. I'm Connie Jo Holmes. I'm the founder of Be You to Be Full Hypnosis and Coaching. And my mission in my company is to teach individuals how to confidently and courageously move from reacting to life to owning your life. And to me, when you can own your life through the lens from which you see the world to create what it is you want in your life, there is no better way in the world to own your life. So what do I mean by this? Well, first of all, let me start by saying I'm going to call myself an expert on this topic. Why am I qualified to do that? I'm qualified to do that because years ago, I think it was around probably 2010, I read a book, and in that book, it was suggested that you write down every night 5 things that you're grateful for. Well, I committed to doing that. And so I'm going to tell you, every single night since 2011, I have been writing down 5 things that I'm grateful for on Facebook. And it has truly, truly changed my life. And I'm going to tell you why and how. So first of all, before I get there, so many people lately in different spaces are talking about toxic positivity. And I get it. I completely understand that and I believe the reason why they're saying that is because, the life is great. Everything is wonderful when, the building's burning down around us and the world is falling apart. So I get that why people might call it toxic positivity. However, when you as a person inside of your mind, body, and spirit at your core level, when you truly can see the world for the fact that it is what you make of it, that is the biggest difference between having that positive mindset and that negative mindset. And so for me, when I started doing my 5 things I'm grateful for every night, I committed, and trust me, this isn't for everyone, I committed to doing it on Facebook every night. And the reason why I did that was, 1, I wanted to hopefully inspire others. 2, I wanted it to keep me honest and that I did it every single night. Because otherwise, if I had it with a journal by my bed, I might sometimes feel like not doing it. But doing it so publicly, I was committed. And so since I have been doing that, it has truly, truly changed my life. And I'm going to tell you why. It is because I have trained my brain to find things that are beautiful in the world. Does that mean every single day is absolutely beautiful and it's, what do they call it? Rainbows and puppy dogs? No, I still have very, very crappy days every once in a while. But the difference is my crappy days are so few and far between. If it starts off crappy, and in the past, if it would have taken me from a 0 to a 10 as far as crappiness, and that would have lasted all day, well now, not only are they few and far between, but maybe the crappiness goes from a 0 to a 5, and maybe it lasts an hour instead of the entire day. And that is an honest to goodness true statement. That is a fact. That is how my life has changed. But also, in writing down every single night 5 things I'm grateful for, it has trained my mind to scour my day, and even in the crappy ones, and find those things that I'm truly grateful for. So I live in southern Wisconsin, and I am shooting this video on March 14th, 2025. And so this week we are having gorgeous weather, which is wonderful. I went to an event yesterday and I was walking out of the building with somebody and I said, I am truly grateful that I live in a state that has 4 pretty distinct seasons because it truly makes me grateful for these first several days of just gorgeous weather. And I mean that with true sincerity. And so that's an example about being able to find gratitude. And so what's happening when you live a life of gratitude? So you're training your mind, but then how you're training your mind is, if you've ever heard of this, we have something called our Reticular Activating System. That is it's a bundle of neurons. This is how I describe it. It's a bundle of neurons it sits at the base of our brains. And its job is to serve up to us what it is we need to know and be aware of. I'm not a scientist. You can probably Google this and get an even better definition, but how I like to describe this to people is there are a gazillion, a scientific term, a gazillion, but there's a gazillion stimuli happening at any one time. And honestly, if it all came through, it would just be way too much for us. We would all be so jacked up and overstimulated. If you've ever been to Las Vegas or Disney World or something like that, where there's just like so much going on and your body kind of reacts to it, that's an example about like so much stimuli. But there's even more going on than that. And so your reticular activating system serves up to you those things that you need to be aware of. And then some. So I want to, has anyone watching this video, because I talk about this a lot, and whenever I do, people always raise their hand when I do it live. So who here has experienced this? You are in the market for a new car and you are researching it. You're on Consumer Reports, you're getting all the reviews and finding all the details you can between these couple of cars that you want to make this final suggestion. And then so you're all committed that you're going to, buy this car. Well, then all of a sudden you're driving and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm seeing this car everywhere." Have you guys experienced that? Like I said, when I do this in person, all the hands go up. So that is an example of your reticular activating system at work. That car was always on the road. It's just you never needed to pay attention to it until you were in the market for a new car and it was one of your top selections and you were doing research on it. Well, you told your reticular activating system that you were interested in this. So that is why your attention is being drawn to it now. So can you imagine if your reticular activating system can do that for a new car that you might be researching? Can you only imagine what it can do when you have a practice of daily gratitude? And that is exactly what has happened to me. I have trained my mind to find anything, 5 things every day to be grateful for, sometimes in a crappy world. So my mind, boom, I'm going to gravitate to that gratitude. I am going to see that diamond in the rough. I am going to see the upside to everything. Does this mean I'm Pollyanna and I'm, smiling when the world's falling apart? No, not fully, because I'm also a realist. But what it is I choose to see those things that serve me, that serve others, things that are within my control. At the end of the day, they say the only thing that is in our control are our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, and our reactions. So my thoughts are, there's positive and negative. I want positive, or productive or unproductive, however you want to say it. I want productive. I want positive. So that's a thought that I have. That's what I want. And then my emotions tied to that, well, my emotions are one of gratitude. Gratitude makes me happy, fulfilled, joyous. Those are all these emotions. I'm controlling those. And then I can control my actions and my reactions. So my actions are, sometimes in days that are loaded with, dog poop, my actions are, I am going to find that diamond in the rough, because there's always a diamond in the rough. And then therefore my reactions are one of gratitude, or my reaction, just turn on the news. I mean, my reaction is to not turn on the news, right? So I think that's just an example of some of the things that I'm talking about here. And so the point of this video is to challenge people that really like to criticize this toxic positivity, because when you reframe that in your mind, when you reframe it and say, no, there's nothing toxic about this. Maybe there's something to this. Let me see what these people are doing. What did they do differently than what I'm doing? And if you employ some of these tactics, you will find out in short order. What short order? A few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months. You're going to find out in short order how these skills and these strategies truly, truly do change your life. And so I always like to tell people, if you don't believe me, just try it. And then, and then prove me wrong. But then in trying to prove me wrong, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this stuff actually does work. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. But if this is something that you do need support with, because there are some people in the world that are a little bit more wired for positivity and productivity versus negativity and unproductivity. So if you are somebody who's wired a little bit more for the negative, don't shame and blame or anything like that, but I can definitely help you with this. As a hypnotherapist and a life coach, this is my absolute specialty, and I can help you reframe some of your thoughts, and I can teach you on how to have that be your way of life. Because again, when that can be your way of life, that's how you move from reacting to life and everything life throws at you to owning your life. Because you're owning your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your reactions. So if you got value out of this video, and or if you're somebody who you have a daily practice of gratitude and it's changed your life, please add it to the comments so that people know, that there's more people in the world doing these things and it's really actually working and can change your life. So, all right, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are interested in working with me, look in the description box below for how to schedule a free 30-minute consultation call with me.